Welcome back to CFBNation. I am your host, Nino Brown, and I got my guy. When you see us on the screen, you know what it means. Dino, how we doing?
Not too bad. It's been a crazy day in the Knoll house, but I'm excited. College football is just right around the corner. We got spring games going, so I'm excited.
Yeah, it's just we get this little window, right? This little window now. We're kind of just waiting, although the portal's
A
kind
little
of keeping us.
tease happened, and now
Yes, I love it. Again, we're back at it with another episode of Devy Darlings, and if you can't figure it out, I'm gonna let you know. We're talking about Houston running back Parker Jenkins. Let's just dive right into it. 5'11", 200 pounds. He's coming out of Klein Forest High School, Houston, Texas, 4-star. He was number 84 overall in Texas. And you know how I feel about Texas football players.
Yep.
So, D-Now, talk to me a little bit.
So yeah, he was the number 25 running back in the class of 23. And you know me, I love guys who do more than football. This gentleman ran track. He ran the 100 and 200. In the 100, he ran a 10.8, 100, and then in the 200, 21.86. So those are pretty quick.
Yeah.
And then last year, he was the Big 12 honorable mention offensive newcomer.
Hey, yeah,
Not too shabby.
No, it's not too shabby. You know, you getting talked about as a freshman, so it's always
Right.
a good thing. Let's talk about Klein Forest High School. You know, where it was in 2020. He had 48 attempts for 200 yards and a touchdown. He also had 12 receptions for 120 yards, 2 touchdowns. Then in 2021, he had 47 attempts. So right around the same amount of attempts, but we saw a large jump here. 427 yards, 5 touchdowns. He also had 20 receptions for close to 300 yards and 2 touchdowns. You know, the numbers aren't crazy, but trust me, when you see this gentleman on the screen, it gets crazy. Talk to me, Dina, about these offers and how many he had stacked.
Yeah, so obviously coming out of a good program in Houston, Texas, he had the offers. He had 30 plus offers from schools like Florida, your Oregon Ducks, Florida State, Tennessee, Ole Miss, pretty much the entire SEC, almost the entire Big 10, Big 12. Ended up going to Houston. So
And it was, I think he might have made the right decision. You know,
yes.
Like I said, 2023, we committed to Houston, and in 12 games, he had 99 attempts, 464 yards, team high, 3 touchdowns. Okay, he averaged close to 5 yards per carry with 4.7. That's pretty close. Again, he had 15 receptions, 87 yards, no drops. So he was short-handed. Right? He only had 8 starts in the 12 games, 120 snaps, but out of the 464 yards, he had 307 yards after contact. And he forced 27 missed tackles too. Like in a small sample size, this guy is just unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, no drops.
Right.
Only 120 snaps, and out of 460, 307 of that was yak.
It's crazy.
That's ridiculous.
What's that, 83% or something crazy?
Yeah,
Like,
something stupid like that.
Oh, man. All right, talk to me, man.
So, yeah, he was ranked second for all the freshmen in the Big 12 for 20 10-plus yard runs. He had 141 breakaway yards, 25 first downs. He did special team kickoffs. He had 8 returns for 140 yards. He was the first Houston player with 3 touchdowns in his first start, which he did against Sam Houston. And in the spring game, he had multiple explosive runs, including a 60-yard touchdown run.
Yeah, it seems to be Parker Jenkins' time, right? It seems like they're going to give him the RB1, and we will hopefully see, you know, about 150 carries, 175 carries. That's what I would like to see. You know, it's somewhere around that ballpark. If he happens to get to the 200, then I think what we're having this conversation about would be solidified, you know, and he could be that Devy Darling. Well, a couple of things that I noticed that jumped off the screen to me. Like I said, it was a small Houston sample size. And if you go back to his high school days, it was just crazy because, you know, special teams ability was insane. Speed, strength, physical. Like, you're not just tackling this guy with the greatest of ease. And if you think you got him wrapped up, he finds a way to wiggle his way out of there unless the whistle's blown. He's got quickness, right? Shifty, versatile, very, very fluid hip movement, which I like. Talk to me.
Yeah, so some of the things I noticed, he's patient. He waits for the holes to open. With that, his vision was pretty good when he got playing time. He's sneaky shifty, I noticed watching the tape too. His footwork is pretty elite with that shiftiness. And again, finding the hole, weaving in and out of the chaos that's in front of him.
Yes.
He can find that pretty well.
Yeah, what was crazy when I noticed about him, like you say, the weaving it in the clean footwork. It's like in the open field after he breaks through a line and decides whether he's going to stay between the hash or break it to the outside. I've watched him multiple times in the long run. It's kind of like just sudden shiftiness where he's turning the DB or the safety around, and now he's the guy thinks he's going right, and he's in an open lane to the left. So like there's some of that stuff, like with the hip as well. I've seen him freeze linebackers coming out the hole where they think they got him wrapped up, and then it's just like whoop, whoop, and oh no, missed him. So I'd like to see like a small sample size in Houston last year, but I think things might change a little bit because the QB that they thought they were going to rock with off the rip, Donovan Smith, he's hurt. Obviously, I don't know what the situation may be, so they're going with the backup QB here. So maybe they'll go a little bit more run-heavy scheme this year.
Yeah, and I was going to say with Matthew Golden moving on too, they're going to need that explosive guy. So
and Samuel Brown, who just committed to Miami. So it's just pretty much Joseph Manjack is going to be the wide receiver on the outside there. I think we might see a little bit more attempts for my guy, a little bit more, targets his way. So we get into that point of the show, my guy, where we get to talk about who we think he looks like. Like I said, in high school, man, it was the special teams just kind of just jumped off the screen. He also was in a lot of Wildcat packages, right, in high school where it was just like, give it to him, gone. Right? It just hits the hole and goes. But when I see kind of the latter half of his senior season and some of the middle of this year with Houston, I see that shiftiness. I see that explosiveness. I see the receiving capability. He just ceiling LaShawn McCoy. Okay, like I just see all of that. If everything goes well for this gentleman and he hits all the boxes, right? I see he could be that type of player. If for some reason he can't put all the pieces together and he doesn't make it, the speed, the hands, the special teams capability that he does have, give me Leon Washington. So at the ceiling or at the floor, I think he's an NFL caliber player. But again, that might be a cathedral ceiling. The difference there, in the gap from the floor to ceiling. But that's where I'm at with what he's got. I think, the sky's the limit. But I think, he might just be floating under the clouds if things don't work out. So what are your thoughts? Yeah. And what do you got?
Yeah, I'm right there with you. So my ceiling obviously is pretty lofty too. I went with CMC, Christian McCaffrey. Okay. Just that initial, like you said, the one move and the DB or linebacker spinning all over the field. Yes. With the footwork and all that. And then my floor is Jerick McKinnon.
Ooh, I like that.
Coming out of college, he played quarterback, running back, wide receiver at Georgia Southern. And watching his high school tape, like you said, they ran a lot of Wildcat. It just kind of clicked with me. Again, if not everything clicks for him college-wise or NFL-wise, I could see him being a really good third down running back, kind of like how the Chiefs used McKinnon the last couple of years in their passing game.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking McKinnon, but I think that's absolutely spot on with it. They got the speed, got a little bit of that shiftiness to him, can run between the tackles a little bit more than McKinnon, right? But he wasn't too shy of it. He would do it if he had to. But once you get to the outside, he gets behind you. He's an afterthought. So, yeah, I think that works. Like I said, for me, it was like I just think that no matter what happens, if he doesn't pan out and it doesn't hit all the boxes in the end and at the end of his collegiate career, or if he moves on somewhere else and Houston doesn't happen to be the team for him, whatever it may be, that capability, the speed, the special teams – Leon Washington had, at least 6 or 7 or 8 year career of just being a special teams dude, right? I think he had Pro Bowls as well. So, but he was also a running back. He had success in a small here and there. At the Jets, there was a couple of years where he was, maybe had 600 to 800 yards, and he was a guy. So, I just think that Parker Jenkins fits in that ceiling floor gap. But hey, if that's your floor, I'll take it because I said. 6 to 8 years in the NFL isn't a bad thing to shy about. So this is a great one. We have another guy lined up. Not today, but this week we'll be talking about another gentleman who could possibly be a Devy Darling. This gentleman out of Ole Miss, and they interviewed him right before the spring about guys coming in and out of the portal, and I just loved everything he said. I just know that this is the program I want to be at. What we're doing here is putting people in the NFL, and I just worry about me, and I don't care who comes and goes. And that would be Aiden Williams from Ole Miss. So he's going to be the next guy we're going to talk about, wide receiver over there. I think maybe he takes a step this year. Maybe we're just a little bit ahead of the curve or not. But, that's a story to be written. I'm Nino Brown. That's my guy, Dino. Once again, this is CFB Nation, and you are watching Devy Darlings.